Is it just me? Or is everyone suddenly kind of gay? If you look at the headlines or scroll through your feed, it feels like there's been this massive surge in LGBTQ plus identity over the last decade. For a lot of people, especially on the right, this looks like a social contagion or a trendy performance. But if we actually look at the data, we aren't seeing a surge in identity. We're seeing a surge in safety. Now, to understand what's happening, we have to look at the left-handedness miracle. In 1900, the recorded rate of left-handedness was about 3%. By 1950, it skyrocketed to 12. Did a lefty virus sweep the world? No. Historically, being left-handed was considered sinister, which is the actual Latin word for left. We didn't make more lefties. We just stopped hitting children with rulers for using their natural hand. As the National Bureau of Economic Research shows, once the physical and social costs of being left-handed dropped, the numbers reached their natural biological baseline and stayed there. We're seeing the exact same phenomenon today. According to the Gallup 2025 and 2026 reports, only about 2% of boomers identify as LGBTQ+, while nearly 23% of Gen Z does. Critics call this the woke influence, but sociologists point out that boomers grew up during the Lavender Scare and the AIDS crisis. Back then, being out didn't mean getting a Pride Month tweet. It meant losing your career, your family, or your life. Gen Z isn't more gay. They're simply the first generation where the cost of being honest is finally low enough to see something closer to the real numbers. And I say closer because persecution and remaining closeted because of it are still very real things. But we also have to be honest about the current climate. Between the rise of the manosphere and the Trump 2.0 landscape, there's a massive push to make the closet look traditional again. Reactionary influencers are selling 1950s gender roles as a lifestyle choice, and it's creating a chilling effect. When you raise the cost of being out, which GLAAD reports is happening right now, with record anti-LGBTQ plus incidents, the data doesn't disappear. It just goes stealth mode for survival. Back to the overall trend. The largest group driving this overall increase is bisexual people, who make up nearly 60% of the community. For a century, if you were mostly straight, you just kind of stayed in that lane because it was the path of least resistance. Now that we finally have the language to describe it, people are finally being more accurate instead of invisible. So, in conclusion, the world isn't getting gayer. We're just finally getting the stats to measure people who were previously forced into silence. We aren't seeing a trend. We're seeing the truth finally catch up to the data. And the fight right now, it's about making sure the truth doesn't get shoved back in the closet. Let me know what you think in the comments.